Call to order the regular city council meeting for Tuesday, January 20th. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and call the roll, please.
Mayor Greer.
Here.
Councilmember Ekstrom.
Here.
Ketchmar.
Here.
Bates.
Here.
Weed.
Here.
And Frida. Here. Councilmember Ditmore is excused. We have a quorum.
We'll move on to the approval of the minutes from the January 5th, 2014 regular city council meeting. Are there any corrections? May I have a motion, please? Councilman Bates?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I make a recommendation. We approve the January 5th, 2015 regular city council meeting.
Second.
Second from Councilman Weed. Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Bates.
Aye.
Councilmember Weed.
Aye.
Councilmember Frida. Aye. Councilmember Ekstrom.
Aye.
Councilmember Ketchmar.
Aye.
Approved by unanimous vote.
Are there any council member announcements? Councilman Bates?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, we'll have a Public Works Committee meeting on Wednesday, 21st at 4 o'clock here.
4 o'clock or 6 o'clock?
4
4 o'clock. And the work session is at 6 o'clock?
Okay, if you say so.
Is that right?
Planning Commission.
Planning
Oh,
Commission.
Planning Commission. Okay, yeah.
All right, my mistake. You said something else. Any others? Okay.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I'd just like to ask everyone out there to keep Kevin Ditmore and his family in your prayers tonight.
Thank you. Any others? All right, we'll move on to the adoption of the agenda and the consent agenda. Doug, will you review the consent agenda, please?
Yes, on the consent agenda, the first item is to ratify the emergency purchase of the K9 dog. I guess his name's Duke, as I understand it. We discussed this at the December 3rd General Government Committee. This is a purchase to Shallow Creek Kennels of Sharpsville, Pennsylvania, in the amount of $9,750. This is for the police department. And as you may recall, there's been a fundraising program to carry out this K9 program. They have generated about $25,000 in donations for this program so far. No city funds will be used for this particular purchase or this particular program. It's all donated funds. So we're glad to get the dog here. Is in training now and moving forward. Next item is to authorize a contract service for bacteriological testing. This is with the Pueblo City and County Health Department in the amount not to exceed $10,500. This purchase is for the water department expenditure. It's for the annual testing of drinking water. That's a federally funded requirement for our water department. Next item is bid number 2 of 15. This is the purchase of chlorine for the water department to DPC Industries of Hudson, Colorado, not to exceed $18,615. This is for the annual purchase of chlorine that's used throughout the year in the daily operation and treatment for our water treatment plant. There was one bid received out of 3 that were solicited, and this was the low bidder. Bid number 3 of 15 for aluminum sulfate, again for the water department to Chemtrade Chemicals of Parsippany, New Jersey, an amount not to exceed $63,610. This is for the annual purchase of aluminum sulfate, again, which is part of the daily treatment operation at the treatment plant. 2 bids were received from the 3 that were solicited, and Chemtrade was the low bidder. The next item is also number 4 of 15. This is also for the water department to Hatch Company of Loveland, Colorado, for the purchase of reagents that are used in laboratory instruments in the testing process, measuring pH, measuring chlorine residuals, hardness, chlorine dioxide, chlorides, fluoride residuals. This Hatch is the sole source provider of these particular reagents. So it would complete that, which is again for an annual purchase. Bid number 10 of 15, pipe materials for the engineering department to Botten Precast of Pueblo, Colorado, in the amount of $48,748. This is for the purchase of pipe materials to repair a culvert that crosses under the intersection of Central and Orchard Avenues. One bid was received from those that were solicited. This was the low bidder. And in this particular case, FEMA disaster funds will be used to help finance or to pay for this particular improvement. And then the bids are the list of bills for the last 2-week payable period.
Thank you, Doug. Are there any additions or corrections? May I have a motion, please? Councilman Weed.
Thank you, Mayor. Members of council, I move adoption of the agenda and consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Second from Councilwoman Frida. Is there any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Weed.
Aye.
Councilmember Frida. Aye. Councilmember Ekstrom.
Aye.
Councilmember Ketchmar.
Aye.
Councilmember Bates.
Aye.
Approved by unanimous vote.
Next is the administrator's report.
Just one quick item, kind of an update on the library. We had a walkthrough today with Bob Leck, and everything at the library is almost complete. They are in the process now of painting some of the damaged floor tiles, which is actually pretty amazing. I was standing by some that they had painted and couldn't even tell it. So it's going to be nice to see that floor kind of brought back, and it's really looking good. We'll be meeting tomorrow, looking at grading out the front yard so there's positive drainage away from the building out towards the street. Hopefully we'll be able to get that done here within the next week or so. George Steepleton and our fleet division are working on rebuilding, those back steps on the west side that go out to the alley. Those are being rebuilt by city crews. They're working on those now, so hopefully those will be ready to install here in the next couple of weeks. And just kind of an FYI, and once that's done, the library will be complete. They are in the process of moving the books back. They'll probably be closed this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Monday, to finish moving the books back and bring the books back from the museum. So come next week, the library will be open for business. On February the 6th, which is the first Friday in February, I think the staff plans on replacing the time capsule, which will be another nice little event, and they've had a lot of suggestions as to what to put into that capsule, and so they're preparing it and getting it ready to go. They will also, when they reopen, they will have a display at the library of all the materials that came out of the original time capsule, so that'll be on display shortly. So that's it for tonight.
Thank you, Doug. Citizens' request to speak to City Council. All right, and then that will conclude the regular part of our meeting. We have 2 executive sessions this evening. The first regarding a legal claim of a former employee. We will make a motion to go into executive session to discuss that with the city's attorney. We'll come back and move on to item number 8, what will be another executive session regarding the Royal Gorge Bridge and Park redevelopment.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Bates, may I have a motion?
certainly. I move that the council go into executive session in accordance with section 24-6, 402, 4E of the Colorado Revised Statutes to instruct negotiators regarding council's positions concerning the possible settlement of claims raised by a former employee. During such executive session, the city council may confer with the city attorney for purposes of receiving legal advice on the specific legal questions regarding the claim as permitted by CSRS section 24-6, 402, 4B. No action will follow this executive session.
Second.
Second from Councilman Weed. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Bates.
Aye.
Councilmember Weed.
Aye.
Councilmember Frida. Aye. Councilmember Ketchmar.
Aye.
Councilmember Ekstrom. Aye. Approved by unanimous vote.
Okay, we'll recess this meeting at 6:09, and we will return to this room upon completion of the executive session.